Hello and welcome to the brand new Autcraft Obsidian server. That's right, this is a brand new server we just announced last week and it's going to launch later this week. And there's been a lot of questions about it since we announced it, so I thought I'd make this video. There's been so many questions. I try to answer everybody and the questions just keep coming, so I thought I would make this video where I could answer all those questions in one spot at one time and post this for all to see. So if you have questions, hopefully I answer them in this video. Question number one is, why the age limitation? Autcraft Obsidian is for 15-year-olds and older. Hello, Creeper. We made it 15-year-olds and older because the original Autcraft server, when we created it, we tried to make it so that it would be for all ages. And that pretty much starts at age 6 all the way to, well, we've had grandparents playing. And that works for most people. Obviously, our largest demographic is 12-year-olds and younger, all the way down to 6. Sometimes we've even had a couple 5-year-olds. Sorry, I'm just looking around while I'm doing this. I hope you don't mind. This is your tour, my talking tour. Oh, there's my shadow. The problem with... Well, okay, the good thing about having all-inclusive is that it works out really, really well for those children, 12 years and younger. And it also works really, really well for the parents and for the grandparents, aunts and uncles, the people who love to play with those kids. It does not, however, work very well for people that are in their later teens and 20s and... Will you come and kill me? Yeah, you'll come and kill me. People in their late teens and 20s and even into their 30s, especially if they don't have children, they want to talk about things that little kids should not be hearing. And it's not necessarily, you know, really, really bad things. It's not even swearing. It's just some things that people talk about just isn't appropriate for little kids. And I'm not going to give you any examples because that would defeat the purpose of not having that stuff on the actual Autcraft server itself. But on a server where teenagers and young adults can play, they don't have to worry about who's going to be listening. And we wanted to give them that space. See, what happens is on the original Autcraft server, we've just had so many teenagers and young adults join the server and play for a little while, only to leave angry because they feel that it's too strict. There's too many times we tell them that they can't say this and they can't say that because there's little kids on the server and they have to think about that. This just looks amazing. So we've just had so many people come to the server that are no longer there anymore. And that's because they just can't be themselves when there's children playing. And we've had a lot of children from 10 to 14-year-olds asking us why the age limit, and if they feel like they're ready, should they be allowed to play with the 15 to whatever-year-olds. Well, the problem is, even if you feel really mature, just the fact that you are so much younger is going to have an effect on the people on the server. They're going to be conscious that you're there, and they're going to be trying to make sure they don't say anything they shouldn't say, and they're not going to be themselves. They're not going to feel completely comfortable like they really should. And as much as some people get mad and say that we're excluding people under 15 for this server, the fact is that we've been excluding people over 15 ever since we started Autcraft. Ever since the day we began, we've been excluding all those people because they are not free to feel like themselves. Wow, nice. And that's not okay. Like, those people shouldn't feel like they can't play on Autcraft. They shouldn't feel like they can't be themselves. And they do, because they can't behave how they want to behave around children. Oh, sun's coming up. So that is why that age limit is there, and that is why we don't make any exceptions, even for siblings, even for, you know, really intelligent, really mature people that are under 15. I'm sorry, but you can't join the server. So that's that. The second question is... Oh man, this is having a hard time loading in. The second question is, why is it $5 a month? The Autcraft Obsidian server is going to be pay to play. $5 a month. There's actually discounts if you get 6 months or a year instead of just 1 month. But the reason that it is $5 a month is the Autcraft server, because, again, the main demographic is 6 to 12-year-olds. Those people don't have $5. Like, you can't expect a 6-year-old to have a credit card, much less, you know, $5 every single month to be playing. So that server is it's paid for, it's run by donations. Parents donate. So if a couple of parents donate 1 month, then that pays for all the kids. It pays for all the other adults. It pays for everybody that plays on the server, which is amazing. Like, you know, one generous person is paying for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people to play. Oh, hello? Which is pretty cool. But on a server like this one, Autcraft Obsidian, there will be no donations. We do not offer a flashy new rank. We do not offer anything. We just don't even have an option to donate, because people that are over 15, especially once you approach like 18, 19, and into the 20s, now, these people have credit cards, they have jobs, they have $5 that they can pay every month, and that money goes straight to paying for the server. This server is going to be more vanilla than Autcraft. There's going to be PvP, there's going to be mobs everywhere, even here at spawn. There's going to be, you know, a regular end, there's going to be a regular nether, there's going to be all kinds of stuff here. Like, you don't have your places protected. You can prank each other. You can go into each other's buildings and break stuff, you know, so long as it's in good-natured fun. The server still does have the same kind of guidelines as Autcraft, where you can't really grief each other if it's with a bad intention. Like, if you're just trying to, you know, hurt somebody and be mean or whatever, you can't do that. You know, there's no, like, basically no hating each other, no bullying each other. It's constantly monitored. But if you're just having fun and you're, you know, pranking each other and you go and you break each other's house and you laugh about it, then that's fine. I know it's kind of strange, but, you know, some people play that way and we want to give them that freedom to do that. But for $5 a month, that's not much. Like, Netflix is $9 a month, $8.95 a month. But basically, like, we can't run this server without some kind of an income, and we're not going to ask for people to donate to a server that is mainly for adults. Is there a cow in the house? Sounds like it. So that's why it's $5 a month. We're not relying on donations. We're relying on people to actually pay their way. But also there's added benefits like at a minimum payment like that, ever so small, we ensure that children won't be joining and making it awkward for all these people. Because, you know, if a 6-year-old lies on their whitelist application and says they're 15, that's one thing. But once they get to the page where it says enter your credit card and pay $5, they're going to be a lot more hard-pressed to be able to accomplish that, especially if they have to ask their parents, right? Like, they're going to have to tell their parents, Mom, Dad, I lied. Can you pay this $5 for me? That'll be a little tougher to do. It'll also keep out a lot of trolls, because trolls will be a lot less likely to submit a whitelist application and then pay $5 just to get onto a server and do what? Cause some damage or something, I guess? I don't know. This server, like I said, is still going to be monitored. It still has not protection, but logging. Logging just sounds wrong. But basically, we track every single block, just like we do on Autcraft. So any block that is placed and any block that is removed, any damage that is done, it is not only tracked so that we can see who did it, but we can roll it back. So if anybody ever did cause any problems, if anybody did get into a fight or try to, you know, break somebody else's property or whatever, or a troll got on, we can fix that. We can catch them, remove them, and fix it. But in order to do that, in order to have people on the server, it has to be paid for. A lot of servers are free. I know that, but they're not monitored like this one will be. This one is still for people with autism, and it's still to be a safe haven. So the next question is, how do you join? Well, I kind of touched on this a little bit. You still have to fill in the whitelist application for Autcraft. just like normal. If you are coming from Autcraft to this server, you probably already done that. If not, you have to fill in that whitelist application, and that whitelist application, if you are over the age of 14, if you are 15 or older, then you will have access to both servers. That means if you don't want to pay the $5, wow, I'm getting all my numbers mixed up, 15 and 5. If you don't want to pay the $5 a month, that's fine. You don't have to. You can play on the Autcraft server, which is for all ages and is totally protected and safe. And you can play there as much as you want. You don't have to pay anything. If you want to play on this server, then you have to pay the $5 a month, and you will have access to that once you are approved on the whitelist. Once you have paid for that, then you can play on this server immediately. It's automatic. But you can still also play on Autcraft. You can play on both servers. There will be a brand new website. It's actually built on top of the actual website that we have now at autcraft.com, and it will become available to you once your whitelist application is approved. You'll see it. It'll just be there. So, hello, animals? So that's pretty cool. Like, everything is kind of taken care of for you that way. And again, if ever you decide you don't want to be on this server anymore, you don't want to pay for it, or you want to be playing with those kids again and their parents and everybody, then you are free to go back to Autcraft anytime you want, so long as you're still whitelisted. So how is staff chosen on Autcraft Obsidian? Well, it's much the same as the regular Autcraft server. We already have staff selected in order to get the server built, in order to get it off the ground and on its feet and up and running. We have some people hand-selected from the original server, but it's not going to stay that way. Just like the original Autcraft server, as it grows, as it continues on into the future, we will watch the players on the server, and the players will watch themselves, and there will be suggestions and votes and all kinds of, you know, just activities where people can prove themselves, that show us that they're responsible and earn the ranks, basically. Like, there won't be any applications, just like on Autcraft. There's no applications. You don't actually apply to be a staff member or anything. You're selected by the community, and over time, you know, if the server lasts that long, I suppose, we will have staff that come and go. There will constantly be new people on the server and people leaving the server, and we will be changing staff as that happens based on whether or not they deserve it. So I hope that answers some of your questions. The server is for 15-year-olds and older. It is $5 a month, cheaper if you get it for a longer period of time. It is constantly monitored. Staff will be selected as the server goes. And I guess that's about it. If you have any other questions, please leave them below in the comments. I will answer them there. But don't leave the usual comments that we've already heard and which I'm trying to cover. If you are under 15, there will be no exceptions. If you can't pay, if there is just no way, there's not really anything we can do. It's not fair to let one person on when everybody else pays. You know, those sorts of questions, they've been covered. They've been addressed in this video. Any other questions, leave them in the comments. Hopefully that covers most of the things I could think of. We look forward to opening the doors and showing you all. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. Please leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And again, your questions, leave them in the comments. Ciao for now.